And if we're still kind of struggling, what exactly is he saying? I think Jesus is saying, point blank, use your money to influence people for the gospel. Use your money right now for the things of God. Use your money to tell people about Jesus Christ and the forgiveness of sins. Use your money now to make spiritual friends of both you and Jesus. So what is he saying? He's saying, plan for your future right now. Plan for your eternal future right now. Just as the manager planned for his future the next day and whatever the days after that were going to be, Jesus takes that and he says, I don't want you to plan for tomorrow. I want you to plan for eternity. Plan for your future right now. Plan for your eternal future. When you get to heaven, do you want to high-five people? Do you want to just a big party, a big welcome there with open arms, high-fiving? Why? Because you have been faithful with your money, because you were trustworthy with God's stuff when you were on planet Earth? Well, if you want that to happen, you need to plan for eternity right now. Do you want to be rewarded in heaven for your faithfulness with your money while here on earth? Do you want to be rewarded in heaven for being a trustworthy manager of God's stuff while you are here on earth? We need to plan for our future right now. Plan for our eternal future right now. The bottom line, it seems to me, is this: investing in the kingdom of God now will pay dividends for eternity. Investing in the kingdom of God now will pay dividends for eternity. Talk about a great investment. If you invest your money, the money that you have right now, if you invest in the kingdom of God right now, today, while we're here, still here on earth, on planet earth, it's going to pay dividends, literally pay dividends for eternity. That's what he's saying. And some of you understand that very, very much, don't you? Some of you have been members of this church, and have given generously. Many of you for years and years and years, and you understand that you have supported this church as we have ministered to this community. Some of you understand this concept and the importance of giving to God's work. You not only have supported this church, but you've supported other organizations all over the world so that they can minister to other people and other communities. Some of you understand this principle very, very well. You have made spiritual friends. You have spent a lifetime making spiritual friends of both you and Jesus. You understand, many of you, that you need to plan for our future right now. And we're not talking about tomorrow. We're talking about planning for eternity. Investing in the kingdom of God right now will pay dividends for eternity. That's Jesus' point here. But just in case we're not getting it, just in case his disciples aren't following, he sort of elaborates on what he's just said and reinforces it in verses 10 to 13. And I'm telling you, verses 10 to 13, if you think he's been kind of direct and maybe makes you a little uncomfortable, wait till you read verses 10 to 13. He says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you the property of your own? No servant can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Now I don't know about you, but there are some really convicting verses there. But verse 11 for me just really strikes me. He says, if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, let me use me as a bad guy. Jesus is talking to me. Chris, if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, Chris, if you haven't been trustworthy and you've hardly given anything to my work, do you honestly expect me at some point in the future to give you true riches, to give you heavenly riches? Chris, If you expect me to give you riches, you haven't been honest with your stuff, Chris, while on planet Earth. When you get to heaven, do you honestly expect me to trust you with true riches? I don't think so. Don't look at me to give you true riches. That's what Jesus is saying here. It's very abrupt. It made me, I don't know about you, but it made me squirm as I was studying for this sermon. And then verse 13, man, no servant can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Again, just imagine a conversation between Jesus and me. I haven't been faithful. Chris, you say that you love me, but I can tell by your pocketbook and your checkbook and you're not trusting me totally. You say you love me, but you obviously love money as well, Chris. And I'm telling you right now, you can't serve money and God. You have to make a choice, Chris. That's what he's telling all of us. We have to make a choice. We can't have one foot in each camp. We can't do it. Jesus says you cannot be devoted to both of us. You have to choose. Now, he obviously hopes that we choose God and not money. But money is a fierce competitor to God. Make no mistake, money and possessions, that is God's number one rival in our world, particularly in our culture. And he says, Chris, you can't do it. For once, are you going to hold on to your money and spend it on yourself? Or are you going to use the money that I've given you, it's really my money, or are you going to use it to advance the kingdom of God now? You got to make a choice, Chris. That's what he says to me, and that's what he says to all of us. There's some very difficult things for us to hear. But from a more positive standpoint, which is how I sort of want to look at it, is investing in the kingdom of God now will pay dividends for eternity. I choose to look at the more positive part of it, that I need to invest my money and my possessions right now and plan for the future, prepare for eternity. Going back to our analogy of planning for retirement. If you're not retirement age, if you want my advice, oh yes, you need to save for your retirement. But please don't not do it. You need to do it. Okay, otherwise you're going to be living, in your child's basement. You don't want that to happen, right? But I'm telling you, according to Jesus, planning for eternity is infinitely more important. Retirement's going to last, 20 years, 25 years, 30 if we're really blessed. But eternity is going to last forever. Investing in the kingdom of God now will pay dividends for eternity, forever.